Hey guys, Lorcan the Hedgehog here, and welcome back to the Simpsons Season 8 reviews. And today is a special one. Today I'm here to review the first ever hour-long episode of The Simpsons, The Great Phatsby. I think that's how you pronounce that name anyway. But yeah, this marks as the first 1 hour Simpsons episode in the show's run, and it surprisingly took them this long to even do a 1 hour episode of The Simpsons. Well, I guess it shows that, they are able to make a story in 22 minutes without stretching it into an hour. But this one, I guess they had to. So, for the first 1 hour Simpsons episode, was it good? Was it bad? Well, let's get to the plot first. Mr. Burns thinking that he's feeling a bit unwell. Well now, so he decided to throw a party, that could help him. Unfortunately, his style of party is different than the most Springfielders hoped they would be, and Mr. Burns is upset. But until they mysteriously find a mysterious music guru called JG, who's idolized Mr. Burns. Apparently, back in the old days, Mr. Burns must have made a book that taught him how to be rootless. And JG has found it as a kid, and he loved the book so much, and now, he becomes quick friends with Mr. Burns. He also gives Mr. Burns this type of card that apparently, in his words, it has no limits. Anytime, it won't affect the cash, his bank, or whatsoever. But unfortunately, it turns out all of it turns out to be a sham, as it turns out JG planned this whole thing out so that he can get the nuclear power plant and get everything that Mr. Burns has. So Mr. Burns vows revenge with the help of Homer, Bart, one of some guy called Jazzy James, and JG's wife, Pauline, with the help of also Reza, Snoop Dogg, and Common to, get the stuff back from him. Yeah, so this is also a parody of The Great Phatsby. And I don't know, I've never seen that movie, but and from what I hear, it's good. And also, of course, it has the iconic Leonardo DiCaprio holding the drink scene. So, yeah. So yeah, this episode, so this one had to kind of expand the story a little bit in order to, go for the 1 hour mark. Unlike say all the other Simpsons episodes for the 22 minutes. There are a few other plots in this episode, like number one's involvement in Lisa for the first act. The first part is one of the most useless subplots I have ever seen in The Simpsons. At least with the other subplots in the show, at least they are funny, or at least they have something to do with the main plot in some way. This one has literally got nothing to do with the episode. It doesn't have any effect on the episode whatsoever. It could have been cut off the episode, and it would have been, maybe it could actually work on something else. This part is where Lisa sort of falls for, I don't know how to say it. Basically, a rich kid just comes in who sounds more like a man than a kid, but he comes in and kind of acts like a jerk, and Lisa rightly, tells him off. But the boy is actually kind of interested to her because I guess she stood up to his shenanigans, I guess. I don't know. But basically he tries to get her attention, and he kind of does it badly. He does actually give his money to a horse ride and a music protest, but literally the next scene happens where another witch dude just tells, like, hey, I can give you a VIP for the horses and give you a little brush to stroke their hairs. And Lisa goes, hair. So it's one of the most useless subplots because it doesn't even affect the main plot of this episode whatsoever. I know subplot by now, what does affect The Simpsons by now, but still, this is like one of the most useless subplots I have ever seen in The Simpsons. And I guess it's the only thing is it padded time. That's the only excuse I can really see it. You could maybe work it out as a separate episode, but I feel like they already done it, but whatever. Another part is involving Smithers, who, I guess the fact that if, Homer and Bart have to help Mr. Burns, I guess Smithers has to be gone. And this point where he's going to find some ice for Mr. Munz's party, which he goes to Canada. And mostly Smithers is absent throughout the whole episode. He appears here and there, but as for the main plot, he doesn't really do much. I guess it's a way because, like I said, Homer and Bart has to be the main characters of this episode. And, Smithers probably being smarter than Mr. Burns himself can be. It would, maybe, I don't know what to say. But yeah, so Smithers is sort of absent throughout this whole two-parter. He appears here and there, but, he only really comes in near the end. Another plot is involving with Marge, where she opens up a store. There's nothing really much with this plot, just besides that Marge is going crazy. That's really about it. But the main plot itself, I like the main plot. The music is also very good in this episode. I don't really talk about music in The Simpsons, but the soundtrack they have put into it, and there is 3 original songs written for the episode. One where JC sings about, he's been the one who planned all this out to make Mr. Burns bankrupt. I like that song. It's a catchy song. There's another one from Jesse James who, he has his battle rap, and as well there's one with Carmen, Snoop Dogg, and Raza together in one rap number, which is an alright song. Yeah, and there's also a hip-hop with, remix of the Simpsons theme song in the end credits, which is a catchy theme. But yeah, for the first 1 hour episode of The Simpsons, it does its job well. Yes, it does. This is easily why I honestly think, despite the few subplot fails, this is actually one of the best episodes of season 28 by now. By far it's one of the best. I don't know, there's still another 10, 11, 12 episodes left. But for right now, I would actually put this on the top 5 of the best modern Simpsons episodes. For the best of all the Simpsons modern episodes, I would say it's on the top 10. But as for season 26 to 28, I would say it's actually on the top 5 for me. It's a very good episode. If the animation, I don't really talk about the animation in The Simpsons, but the animation in this episode kind of has a Simpsons movie type of feel, where it's trying to be, it tries to be does more with the animation than the show would normally do, which is good. It's good that they are taking a step forward with the animation as well, besides the music, and then the voice acting. The voice acting's good in this episode. Harry Shearer, you can tell he loves doing Mr. Burns. He puts so much effort into Mr. Burns, which, yeah, this whole season seems to have a Mr. Burns team. First the season premiere, and then the second episode, Plot, Pork and Burns, and now this. And yet there's still another episode coming out that will have Mr. Burns as the main character. It seems like this season must be on Mr. Burns' season by now. But oh well. But my main point is, this is the best episode of The Simpsons by far. And for the first attempt at doing the first 1 hour episode, they do its job well. If there would be more 1 hour episodes of The Simpsons after this, I would watch it. I don't know if they can be good as, say, this episode, but for the first attempt, it's a good attempt for The Simpsons. So yeah, I say recommend this episode. I actually recommend this episode a lot. So for now, I don't know what will be up for the next Simpsons episode will be, but we'll find out eventually. So I'm Lorcan the Hedgehog. I'll see you guys later.